Welcome everyone to another mod spotlight, and today we are gonna cover yet another mod of power crystals, namely the power converters mod. And this baby is just freaking cool, you won't believe your eyes. Now what does it actually do? It will convert power for you from any power source such as Buildcraft, Industrialcraft, Universal Electricity or Railcraft steam power and transform it into those. Whatever you want. Oh my gosh. Where have you been all these years? Alright guys, let's have a look at all the different components this mod actually consists of. Now, the first thing you probably want to make is an energy bridge right there. And it is the bridge to everything, your core block that transforms the power and makes the GUI appear. So if you right click this baby, you will actually end up seeing this interface, which at first looks rather complex, but it actually isn't. Now to understand it a bit better, we're gonna move on to the next machine first. This mod actually contains three kinds of items. The energy bridge I've just shown you. We have the consumers and the producers. Now, as you can imagine, consumers will make sure that they transfer their respective power into the bridge, and the bridge can release that power through a producer into a different system. Let's have a look at this example right here. I have hooked up a Buildcraft consumer made like this to a bridge, and if we right click any of those guys now, we can actually see some information going on. So apparently I have hooked this up on the north side of the bridge, so this must be north. We can also see that it is indeed Buildcraft energy that we are inputting. Now since this is a consumer, we can only input with this guy. Currently there is no link because we have no cabling attached. Now if we had, we would actually see the amount of Minecraft joules in case of Buildcraft. We are inputting at the moment. Alright, just to make sure you guys fully understand the principle of this mod, I have hooked up the BC consumer as well as a BC producer, and you can see you only have to put the BC consumer in the crafting table and it will switch around to the BC producer, which is pretty cool, and this counts for all of the recipes. Now, if we right click this guy now, we can actually see that the producer indeed has an output. And this is basically how it works. Now, ideally, you do not want to convert BC power into BC power. It is just for demonstration purposes of the input/output. So let's see these guys in action. I have the same setup right here, except that I have hooked up a few more things. First of all, we have an Industrialcraft 2 low voltage producer right there. Now you can see that there are producers and consumers for low, medium and high voltage all together, and the only thing you have to change in the recipes are actually the transformer blocks. Looking at the interface right now, we can see that we are outputting some Industrialcraft 2 low voltage on the south side, which means we are successfully transforming Minecraft joules into EU. To demonstrate this, I have hooked up a non-powered macerator to a Buildcraft powering system. And as soon as we power this machine, we can see the energy flow through here, getting transformed and spit out as EU on this side. Pretty cool. And we are powering the macerator. As a little side note, you can actually also hook up thermal expansion conduits to the Buildcraft consumer. Now if we bump this up to about 10 Minecraft joules, have a look in here, we can see that we are indeed getting about 10 Minecraft joules. Now note that the output is limited now, which means that we are getting more energy that we are currently using. Of course, the same principles apply vice versa. Right here we have an IC2 solar panel hooked up to an Industrialcraft 2 low voltage consumer. And this again is hooked up to the Buildcraft producer, so it's just the opposite blocks right now, and we are able to power a refinery using a solar panel. Pretty cool. Let's have a look at this example right here. In the center, of course, I have hooked up my bridge, and for completeness sakes, I've also hooked up a medium and high voltage consumer with their respective solar panels. But you should know how these two guys work if you paid attention before. But there's a fourth type of voltage consumer slash producer, namely the E voltage consumer, and this guy is able to accept any amount of power that you give him. You actually have to craft it using an MFSU instead of a transformer. Now, limitations come in when it comes to outputting the energy, as the E voltage producer is only able to output 2048 EU a tick. Last but not least, we have the steam consumer, made with a commercial steam engine, as well as the steam producer. So I have hooked up the steam producer right here, and to confirm that, we have a look in the interface, and we can see on the west side we have steam as an output, which is pretty cool. So all these guys I've just shown you are the inputs producing the energy. Everything gets converted into steam. Cool. Now right here I have hooked up some thermal expansion liquid duct pipes. You could also use the Buildcraft waterproof pipes. It's just the same thing, but these guys are actually a little bit better and niftier. At the end of this steam pipe, you of course want to hook up some kind of steam engine, and you can see its storage is filled with steam, thus powering the pulverizer on top of it, which is pretty cool. Alternatively, you could also lead the steam through a steam consumer and convert it into any other kind of energy. In this example, we are using Buildcraft energy as an output, using thermal expansion conduits to drag it actually out into a pulverizer. Pretty cool. Alright guys, there's actually one more mod Power Converter supports, which is Universal Electricity. Now unfortunately I haven't installed that right now, so I couldn't show you, but it is essentially the same principle, and I'm sure after watching this video you will be able to figure out how to deal with that. There's just one side note that you need to be aware of using Universal Electricity. Unlike with the other modules, you cannot hook up several inputs and outputs on one block. So just keep that in mind. With all the other blocks it's possible, but not with the Universal Electricity ones. Alright guys, this has been it for this mod spotlight. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments section. Other than that, have a look in the description to find the link to the mod, download and documentation. Thank you so much for watching, have a great time and see you next time. Bye bye.